What up? What up? What up? Salute, salute. Y'all both.
Hello, hello. So, how are we holding up through the run up to the holidays? How's everybody
Holidays.
doing?
What's up? What's up, ADOS family? What's up, ADOS community? ADOS California. What's up, your boy?
What's up, fam? How y'all doing?
Chilling, chilling, chilling. Ready for the holidays.
Holler
All
day,
right.
holler craze.
Shout out to the family in the chat. We
Thanks
already
for
got the
joining us. Thanks for joining us. Everybody stay safe and sane out there. And before we get into our show today, Yamoya, if you could let us know what's coming up in the very near future for ADOS Cal Media.
All right, so here we go. Upcoming shows. Actually, as a matter of fact, if you guys didn't have a chance, check out the Black Farming show that we did with Dr. Gail P. Myers. And shout out to Rita Forte in the building.
shout out Rita Forte.
She did a great job, and that was with Farms to Grow Inc. out of the Bay Yay area. Yay,
Yeah,
yay, yay.
yeah.
Holding it down. So hopefully we'll be able to have Dr. Gail on again. It was a phenomenal, and very informative show
Yes.
and program. So we were very fortunate to be blessed with Dr. Gail and Rita on that one. So check
Absolutely.
that one out on the ADOCA Media channel. And Rita's. As a matter of fact, we streamed on hers. We did a dual stream. So check her out. Subscribe to Rita's page too. Shout out to Rita in the
Yep,
Yay
watch it
area.
live.
Yep. And then obviously today, 11/24, we have the community call in, this holiday special, this Hollerdaze, holler craze in the building. So we're going to skip the turkey today and we're going to get to work. We're going to get to work, family. And then 11/29, family. Yeah. We got my boy Citizen Edge
That's
in the
right.
building, man.
Rip up, rip up,
Yeah, this is going to be fire, Chris
rip up.
and fam. This is gonna be fire. So yeah, check out Citizen Edge's page. Hopefully, if we have a chance, we'll be able to send that link out. And if not, hopefully Citizen Edge will be in the building and he could put his link himself in there. I know he usually shows up. So we're going to be talking about the Second Amendment. And
Yes,
on
yes.
12/1, we're going to have the wonderful Maureen and Tiffany in the building to talk about the AB 3121 task force.
Oh yeah, reparations.
Yep, putting the task force to the task.
Oh yeah, can't wait.
So that's going to be fun, fam. So that's what it's about. So never forget, it's our time and it's our destiny. This is the ADOCA Media Channel.
Boom.
Boom.
And fam, also before we even move any further, like, share, subscribe, do all that right now. Like, share, subscribe, hit the bell, get the most notifications you can. Like, share, subscribe, share this on all your social media platforms. Also, check us out, ADOSCA Media on Facebook. We almost at 1,000 followers. So please bump up the followers on Facebook. Check us out on Twitter too, ADOSCA Media on Twitter, as well as ADOSCA right here on YouTube and ADOSCA Media on Instagram. Make sure you checking us out. Also, because this is a community call-in show, we want to hear from you. We want to hear what you got to say, what you think. So make sure that you are calling in as often as possible. 720-740-9699. 720-740-9699. Make sure you call in. We want to hear from you. Also, last but not least, check us out. If you want to email us, it's ADOSCAmedia@gmail. Excuse me, ADOSCA Media Group at gmail.com. Thank you for that. ADOSCA Media Group at gmail.com. Take it away, fam.
And don't forget about ADOSCA Media on TikTok.
Yes.
We're there too. ADOS Cal Media is everywhere. All right, so let's get into it. This holiday show, a lot to talk about. We've got Thanksgiving history, the COVID curfew, It looks like panic buying is picking back up again. We want to talk about Black Business Friday and where's that second stimulus check? Are we going to get a stimulus stocking stuffer? Um, and then, of course, the vaccine rollout. So we'll start with you, Yamoya, if you want to give us a little history on Thanksgiving history.
All right, fam. So here we go. So we're gonna break it down like this. I'm just gonna give you kind of a general overall of the Thanksgiving holiday, and then we're gonna actually go in and actually speak about it from our African Black ADOS perspective as well. So as we know it, Thanksgiving is a federal holiday in the U.S. It's celebrated on the 4th Thursday of November. Usually it's celebrated on the 26th of every year. If I'm correct, it's actually going to be celebrated this Thursday. And let's get into a little bit deeper. So the event that the Americans commonly called the, quote, first Thanksgiving, unquote, was celebrated by the Pilgrims, who are Europeans, after their first harvest in the New World in October 1621. This feast lasted 3 days, and as recounted by attendee Edward Winslow, was attended by 90 Native Americans and 53 Pilgrims. The New England colonists were accustomed to regularly celebrating, quote unquote, Thanksgiving, days of prayer, thanking God for blessings such as military victory or the end of a drought. Thanksgiving has been celebrated nationally on and off since 1789, with a proclamation by President George Washington after request by Congress. President Thomas Jefferson chose not to observe the holiday. Well, interesting. And its celebration was intermittent until President Abraham Lincoln in 1863 proclaimed a national day of thanksgiving and praise to our beneficent Father who dwelleth in the heavens.
Hey.
There you go. So if you guys want further information, screenshot this and, do your due diligence. But I think it's time we're going to get into some of our perspective from a great ancestor. So let's get busy.
Right.
This is the real here. This is the real stuff. All right. So there's a great book. Actually, this brother, his name's Ishaka Musa Barashango. He has 2 volumes. The great ancestor, he's no longer with us. Great scholar, great historian.
Rest in peace.
May rest in power. Definitely rest in peace. So he has 2 books, book 1 and book 2. All right, family, screenshot this. You guys have to get these books. Hopefully they're still in publish. I don't even know if they are or not. Fortunately, I got my hands on my copies, and every holiday season I go back and I get into it. So the first volume is called, Indian Massacre. There you go. African People and European Holidays, a Mental Genocide. So let's go to 1621. At first, the Indians regarded the Plymouth colonists as helpless children. Chief Somerset of the Pemaquid and 3 members of the Wampanoag tribe appoint themselves as missionaries to the Pilgrims. Squanto, who had once been sold into slavery in Spain, from which he successfully escaped and found the way back to his homeland, becomes the interpreter, guide, and teacher of the first white settlers. So let's go to the next point. July 30th in Plymouth, Massachusetts, a celebration for the survival of the colony through the first bitter winter is observed. Later in the autumn of the same year, Governor Bradford proclaims a Thanksgiving celebration that lasts for 3 days, during which the Pilgrims feast on wild turkey and venison supplied them through the hospitality of the Indians. So as you can see, fam, the Indians, the Native people, the First Nations people were very gracious, allowing these people in, saying, you know what? Come on in. Let's do this. You're part of the human family. So after 1621, the regular observance of Thanksgiving as a holiday in North America is not celebrated until I think it was 1789. Yep, 1789. So I'll read the last two and then we'll go on to the next slide. So before the white man came, the Wampanoag Indians had a long tradition of celebrating their harvest around September through October of each year. Yearly ceremonies to thank the Great Spirit. Some people call him God. I know some people who are Muslims may call him Allah. I know in the ancient African, called Egyptian, we call him Amun Ra. So the Great Spirit for the harvest and other life benefits have been observed by many tribes and nations of the quote unquote red man from the time immemorial. The Dutch West Indies Company of Holland receives its charter. Oh yeah, let me go on. So I just want to make this point around the same time, because obviously that's when we started coming into around this time, lit around 1619, 1621. So I definitely want to make this point when, quote unquote, our ancestors started coming to this land. So the Dutch West Indies Company of Holland receives its charter. This company specializes in supplying our ancestors, African slaves, to the Americas and the West Indies. And I think I have one more slide. Yep. Okay. So in 1777, during the Revolutionary War, U.S. Congress proclaims November 1st the date of an important victory over the British to be set aside as the first national day of Thanksgiving. 1789, George Washington, the great George Washington, the founding father of America, quote unquote, writing to friends, complains of escaping slaves, our ancestors, who used secret routes to flee from Virginia to Canada. October 3rd, George Washington makes the first U.S. presidential proclamation appointing this day as a national day of Thanksgiving to give thanks for the framing of the U.S. Constitution. And last one, November 26th, the Protestant Episcopal Church. I'm gonna get it right, fam. I'm gonna get it right. Episcopal Church announces that the first Thursday, I know, right? The first Thursday in November should be observed as Thanksgiving unless civil authorities appoint another date. From this time on, it is celebrated variously by the New England colonies. So I think that is the last side. So, fam, so you got two perspectives, right? So you got one, obviously, that's more watered down, and you got brother Shaka Musabata Shango's, the great ancestors perspective. Now, both obviously talk about dates, right? But the great ancestor put in how we were part of this Thanksgiving holiday, what was going on at that particular time. And also during that time, brothers and sisters, we've always been fighting. So don't get it twisted. We actually probably should do a book, or not a book, but a book read, a recommendation read, maybe a show on. It's called African Negro Revolts. That I'm getting into right now. So we've always had this spirit. We've always been American. We've always been proud to be American. But at the same time, just like many other people here in the Americas, we've always fought for our own independence and also our own perspectives in America, because we are American straight up. We built this country and we come to get our reparations. So thank you.
And I was fired, man. Thank you for that, man. That was an amazing, amazing overview, and you are absolutely right. We are woven into the fabric of this country, the one that we built here as American descendants of slavery, ADOS Black Americans who descend from the institution of U.S. chattel slavery. We are woven into the fabric. There is no America without us. Let's just keep it real. There is no America without us. And that goes for America in all of its forms, whether you're talking holidays, whether you're talking, other kinds of days. There is no this without us.
Yep.
So my takeaway is that this is all Squanto's fault.
That's fine.
Squanto was being a little bit too friendly, but trying to do the right thing. We get it. So definitely a time to reflect and celebrate and reflect on what we're
Yeah, for
thankful
sure, for sure.
for.
There's actually a really good book too. It's a part of Yvette Carnell's book club. I think we read it last year. It was called American Slavery, American Freedom. And it begins, it's a long ass book, and it begins with a lot of history around the pre founding era of the USA. And so there's a lot of good, really good information about what was really going on between the settlers, the occupiers, the colonizers, whatever you want to call them, and the indigenous folks here, and how we were even interwoven into that. Also there's also a lot of good history and research done here in the state of California too, around how we got, how what our role was, and even in the 1500s here, in and around the state of California, and again what was going on with the settlers and the indigenous folks and the folks from what later became, the South American countries. And there was a lot going on around that time. So this is definitely a time to reflect on that. I see we got some comments in the chat. What's up, Rita? What's going on? Thank you everybody who's joining, and thank you again, you Moya, for that amazing overview of what's going on. So, do we celebrate? So, Rita's asking, do we celebrate Thanksgiving or not? I'm just gonna keep it 100. I celebrate it as a family tradition, as a Black family tradition. It's in my tradition to take this time of the year to bring family together. Why we celebrating it is very very different. Obviously, right? We're not celebrating it in the same way in which some of what we heard earlier. But we take it as a day to bring family together, to be around loved ones. There's a whole different vibe this year because of COVID-19, right? And we could definitely get into that too. But this is a Black family tradition in many ways to be around family, be around lots of food. Sometimes this is the one and only time, or one and two or three times you may see your cousins and your aunts and your uncles, everybody in the same place, grandma, all that too. So yes.
Okay. So speaking of celebrating Thanksgiving, it's getting more expensive every year, and this year we're in a pandemic. So that's gonna make things tight for a lot of people celebrating. Let's see, how will you spend your Thanksgiving this year? Last year, 2019, average cost was about 186. 2018, the year before that, about 175. 2017, 165. And then, of course, this year we're in a pandemic. And, we haven't received a second stimulus check. And a lot of people may be hurting around this time in the holidays. What do we have to say about that?
So that's interesting, because you would expect that there's a that there would be a drop off or a dip, or people would be spending less during, or at least spending less around the holiday season. But that's not necessarily the case, because many people, it seems, have moved what in-person spending they would be doing online. And we've seen some of the reporting out of some of the retail companies has been that they are experiencing, and also folks like Amazon and Walmart, and they are experiencing you know some robust sales. We won't know until after the holiday. And we do think it's going to be important that a lot of Americans right now, particularly a lot of Black Americans, are out of work, or are restricted in how they can work, right? And also a lot of businesses themselves, right, are actually restricted in what they can do and where they can operate, right? So this is definitely something to keep our eye on. And I know we're going to talk about black owned businesses in a minute, but if you are in an area where there are Black owned businesses, they definitely need you to spend this holiday season. They've been really hurting over the last several months.
Kim, could we go back to the slide just real quick? I just kind of want to mention something real quick. All right, so fam, as you could see, um, this is crazy. All right, where are people getting $500 to spend? All right, I mean that's crazy when you think about it. I guess some people got the extra money. I don't know about a lot of us ADOS folk. Maybe we do. Maybe I don't know. What do y'all think about that, Chris
Uh,
Kim?
well, in terms of so we know we know where we are as a people in terms of wealth, but we also know where other people are in terms of wealth. So that that graphic is not broken down by race. I don't think. I think if you broke it down by race, you would see, or ethnicity or lineage, you would see some differences in the spending patterns, right? And where people with more wealth and who are not ADOS with more, typically disposable income are spending more. And I saw that stat too, $500 for like like a party. Um, I mean, I could see, the way we do Thanksgiving in my house is everybody brings something, and we go to the place where they cooking the turkey at, right? So it's like a potluck style, right? So it may be that all of us spent, I don't know, like $400 or $500 together as like everybody put in something, but it's definitely different, than what we saw on that slide. And like I said, there are people that got it. I mean, let's keep it real. There are people that absolutely have been doing well. Even some people through this pandemic. So and if you're talking about the years prior to the pandemic, I mean, we were seeing economic growth for the wealthiest of Americans and for Americans in the middle and upper classes, growing, I mean, there was, probably about 7, 8, 9, 10 years of steady economic growth. So these people got money and they are not afraid to spend it.
Chris, you mentioned that you and your family typically do a potluck style, and we've done that too. Now that people are kind of on their own due to COVID, not having the large gatherings, everybody's kind of on their own to put these big meals together. Do you think there's going to be variations in what we typically do for Thanksgiving?
I,
Scaled down a bit?
I'm not sure yet. I'm not sure yet. A part of me thinks yes, but I'm not sure yet because they, despite all of the advisories coming out to, keep it, small and smart as as they're saying this year, despite all of these things, people are still traveling. If you look at some of the airline traffic over the last few days, people are definitely still out there traveling for the holidays. There's people do want, and we've been semi separated from each other for 9, 10 months now in some way, right? People are eager to get together, and it's human nature. So I'm not sure. I want to see what actually happens over the next 24, 48, 72 hours. But I wouldn't be surprised if people said, hey, listen, I've been, quarantined and locked up for the past several months. I want to see my, so and so. I want to go visit my family, for one time, in 8 or 9 months, and that's only human nature. Problem is though, we are dealing with a very serious time with respect to the pandemic, where the cases are rising. I mean, we're seeing something to the effect of 150 to 175,000 new cases every single day in the United States. Over 250, 275,000 people already lost their lives. 1 in 4 of those people is probably black. So this is a very dangerous time. However, this is also a time when people usually want to come together.
Right. And since we know that, COVID has impacted our elders, and, that's the time we want to see them during the holidays, how are people handling that? I know I plan to give all mine a call at least, but no plans to get together this year. And matter of fact, my daughter out there in San Francisco, she's out there in the Bay Area, and I asked her if
Yeah.
she was coming over for Thanksgiving, and she's like, no, she's in quarantine because one of her housemates
Mm,
tested positive for COVID, so she's just quarantining until she can get her test, and so it's kind of all falling apart
yeah. Yeah.
because of this COVID thing.
Yeah, no, that's interesting. You raised that, and for I think for people who have, let's say college age kids, right, or kids who are away for college, there are a lot of colleges saying, hey, if you go home for the holidays, don't come back this semester. Stay home this semester, or stay home the rest of the semester. Do what you can online, because there is this fear that as we, get closer and do what we do on Thanksgiving, after Thanksgiving, the numbers are going to spike. And we saw that. I think there's some evidence coming out of Canada, by the way, too, which I think has their Thanksgiving celebration like in October or earlier. And they reported a sharp spike in cases after, that Thanksgiving period, you know. So, I think, ultimately we're all going to make our own personal choices, and whatever you do, fam, whatever you do, mask up. Okay, whatever you do, wear your mask. Try to keep your hands clean. Try not to touch your face. Try to be as socially distanced as possible. Try not to be in a space where there's 30, 40, 50, 60 people. If you can keep it smaller. If you got to go a little bit earlier, you know, even though in my family Thanksgiving the food wouldn't be ready till like 4 or 5 o'clock anyway. So we'd be waiting all day, But if you can, but if you can go a little bit earlier, start a little bit earlier, leave a little bit earlier too. And we all gonna have to sacrifice a little bit, this Thanksgiving, and it's definitely worth it. I'd rather spend a little bit less time this year and more time next year than have somebody get sick and then you know have problems over Christmas and into the new year.
All right, before we go on, fam, I think Rita put something in the chat about Thomas Jefferson and why he didn't celebrate
Right.
Thanksgiving. From my understanding, thanks for that, Kim. He was a deist and he didn't really believe in like divine intervention and so forth, the spooky stuff. So,
Uh,
so this is for what I quickly did on the research. That's why he decided not to do, or celebrate Thanksgiving and probably Chris. I'm assuming Christmas too, but that's just
probably,
my understanding.
probably. I didn't know that. Very interesting.
Yeah. All right. So I think we ready to move on to the next topics at hand.
Yes, yes.
Yeah, so just in moderation, you say, Chris, try to go a little early, leave a little early, but grab that plate, right,
Get
on
the
the way
plate.
out the
Get your
door.
plate though. Get your plate though, fam. Get your plate. Get an extra plate. Okay. But be safe because we want you here for the next one, right? So mask up, get 2 plates, and leave early.
Okay. And then let's see, we have here speaking about spending and people who got it to spend. It looks like the panic buying is coming back. Toilet paper off the shelves. I was just in the store yesterday, no toilet paper to be found, but good thing I'm still stocked up from the first and second waves of COVID. But let's see what's going on out here in these COVID streets. Stores see more panic buying as new coronavirus shutdowns loom. The statewide explosion in coronavirus cases is fueling another wave of hoarding by U.S. consumers who are again stripping retail shelves bare of toilet paper and cleaning supplies. The tide of infections is prompting a replay of behavior seen in March when the pandemic was spreading and Americans stocked up in preparation for long periods. Then it just goes on to say that cleaning supplies are short in supply. and they are limiting customers again on how many products they can buy at a time. What do we think about that? I know that that was a big discussion the first time around when COVID first hit, as far as ADOS and maybe not having the money to stock up and hoard on supplies. So we were still, making our little runs to the store, which puts you in, greater, makes you more vulnerable the more you're out in it. Um, what
Yeah,
do you think of that? Have you started your hoarding yet?
I have I have not, and I don't plan to. I'm a go and get what I can get, and the I understood. I understood kind of the panic buying around like March, like February, March when this was first like happening. I kind of understood it as like, okay, people are like panicking, and we don't really know, what's going on. We don't really know much about this virus. It's very new, right? This time around, I'm like, I don't understand it as much. Um, I just don't. There there will be toilet paper available. There will be, other things available. And I really don't understand it this time. I know the cases are spiking, but going into the fall, we already were warned and knew that we should or could expect a second, or if you call it a third, but let's say a second wave of COVID cases. We knew this coming into the season, and so I don't get it. I'm sorry, I just don't get it.
And we,
Yeah, me either. Man. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
I was just going to say, we'd like to hear from the audience too. We've got our number up. Are you seeing more hoarding in your neck of the woods? How about you more? Are you seeing more empty shelves when you go into the store?
Yeah, yeah, for sure. Yeah, people are just about it again. People get all panicky and I need my toilet paper. So if you're into buying stock, go get you some toilet paper stock.
Right, right. Like, yeah, I don't get it. I don't
Oh
get it.
my gosh. Yeah, people gotta have their toilet paper, brother. I mean,
That
maybe
was-
we need to do like what Europeans do, right? They have the what they call them, the bodega, not the bodegas, but it starts with the B, I think, and it like splashes and hits your bottom side. You know what I mean? I mean,
Really, I wasn't aware of that, but
yeah. So
those
maybe,
those are for
no,
those are
that's
for
smart.
fancy people.
yeah, exactly. So maybe we need to do what the Europeans, or specifically, I think they have those in the UK. They go out and splash your bottom side,
I,
so
I,
you won't
would,
have to worry about the toilet
I would wait for toilet paper.
paper. Oh man, that's
All
Oh
hilarious.
yeah,
right.
bidet. Yeah, sorry. The
Bidet. Yeah,
pods are saying it's bidet.
thank you. Bidet. Thanks, fam. Appreciate that. See, fam got our back. See, that's all we ask, fam. If y'all don't call in, then at least in the chat, just be like, hey, this is the correct term. Thank you. We appreciate that. All right. So yeah, people are out there, going crazy again. So, fam, just get what you need to get, bunker down, hunker down, do what you need to do, and be safe.
Yes, yes.
Yeah, that's the only thing. The only reason I can see for the panic buying is maybe because we're coming up on the winter months and people just want to kind of hibernate, get everything they need, and just hunker down, like you said, and hibernate and come out when 2020 is over. Woo, because
Yeah.
it
Well,
has.
and here, well, and like here in California, right? We have some of the most restrictive, rules right now around COVID, right? We just rolled back our. We talked about this last week. We are rolling back our openings. We were under a curfew, and we're gonna talk about that soon too, right? We're under a curfew from, I guess, 10 to 5. I'm not sure if it's what time it is, so again, there is, we have some reason here to be panicked, but I still don't get it.
Well, other than panic buying, people also gearing up for Black Friday
Oh yeah,
buying for the holidays. Um, let's
yeah.
see. Do you plan to celebrate Black Friday this year? Dealing with all those crowds, typically there are hordes of crowds on Black Friday. I mean, with all our restrictions and curfews, is Black Friday even going to be allowed? Or are we talking about mostly online shopping? Do you think that the deals are even worth uh, braving the crowds and all of that? Let's see. What will Black Friday look like during the pandemic? Yes, that's a question. What do you guys think?
Yeah, I mean the so great questions, and I'm actually gonna save part of the answer for the Black business segment, but I think when you hear from some of the retailers this year, they have been encouraging shoppers to, in whatever way they can, move what shopping they would be doing in person online for a number of different reasons, but primarily for safety reasons, right? You don't want to, you know, increase the number of people who are going to get COVID because of Black Friday shopping, right? Or at least that's not in the interest of the companies who would be facing some sort of like business restrictions on the other side of it. So they have been warning, many retailers have been warning, or at least advising shoppers to move whatever shopping you can online. I think this year, and again, I really want to see what the numbers say this year, because there's an argument for, people, scaling back, their overall spending. There's also an argument for people just moving that shopping online, right? We can do pretty much any kind. I mean, there's nothing you can't buy online right now and have delivered to you. Even if you have to pay a little bit more to have it, delivered, or if you have, Amazon, or whatever, like, you can get stuff, to you. So I'm really interested to see what happens, but we do have to consider that there are millions of Americans, millions of Black Americans, tens of thousands of Black Americans who are not working, who have been furloughed, or who, like pretty much all of us, got one stimulus check back in, mine didn't come to like May. You know what I'm saying? So, and then we haven't seen anything yet. I know we're going to talk about stimulus checks also in the next segment, but so there is some pressure. I think there is some pressure, on spending. There is some downward pressure on spending this year. I want to see how the U.S. public adjusts to this new sort of normal.
Okay. And speaking of online shops, Umoya did some research and we found some Black-owned stores that are doing online retail work. If I could share my screen here.
Go for it.
Okay. So we have the Reparations Club, and they have a lot of books here that you can purchase, and audiobooks, and they have apparel as well, if that's something that you're interested in. That doesn't look like apparel, but okay, we've got the velvet do rag. I'm actually looking at that for myself. That's kind of cute there. And then we have black and green, and this is a all natural marketplace by Black artisans. So you can get all your self care and beauty on here, bath and body, home, hair. So all of these things that you can purchase at blackgreen.com. And then we have another one, We Buy Black, the first Black owned toothbrush company. And it looks like they have household supplies that you can buy here. Uh,
Hey, Kim, your screen isn't sharing for the other site.
oh,
We're still on black green.
Oh, well, I don't know why that is, but the website link, if our mods could throw it in the chat, is webuyBlack.com, and they sell household goods. I even see light bulbs here,
Oh, they sell everything, everything.
which is interesting.
We buy black is probably the largest online market for black owned businesses. It's the largest black owned e-commerce site in the country. It's the largest place. It's the largest online marketplace for black products, black owned businesses in the um, country. It's a really good resource. I've used it myself. There are amazing companies on We Buy Black from I mean you can get anything on We Buy Black, from like you said, toothbrushes, and I mean, from black owned toothpaste makers to black owned detergents to clothes and shoes and jewelry, and it's a really, really good resource. Check it out, WeBuyBlack.com, and shout out to We Buy Black.
So is that kind of like a online consignment shop where, people can sell their wares through the website? Like if someone from Sacramento wanted to sell on We Buy Black,
Yeah,
would they
sure,
be able to do
absolutely.
that?
Absolutely, yeah, absolutely. You can, if you are a black owned, business, and you have products to sell online, you can absolutely list your products on a We Buy Black for a fee. I know of several black owned businesses here in the city of Sacramento that have their products listed on WeBuyBlack.com, and use that platform as their primary e-commerce solution. So instead of having their own, let's say, like, website where they do e-commerce, they just use that WeBuyBlack.com space where they're listing their products as their e-commerce solution, as their website. So absolutely, yes, if you have a product to sell, We Buy Black should be sending us a check right now for this promo. you know uh
Yep.
you know Definitely check them out. But in the spirit of Black Friday, and supporting black businesses, that's definitely a space to check out.
All right, I think we
Great.
got one more. You want to do the here, I'll put up this one up. The Reparations Club, Bookshop and Creative Space.
Nice,
Yup.
nice.
I think they're out. I think they're out in Los Angeles. I don't know. I think OC, I'm sorry, not OC, CO. I think CO is modding up somewhere, right?
Yeah.
I think they are a LA based black owned business, if I am correct. Um, I don't know if we can get
Reparations
that
Club.
confirmed, but I think we are correct about that.
Shout out to them, and family. Support your black owned businesses during this time. I know we're gonna talk about that next, but support your black owned businesses during this time. We've lost, conservatively, a third, one out of every three, and yeah, they are located in LA, by the way. We've lost one out of every three black owned businesses so far from this pandemic. So you support your black owned businesses, the one that are still in existence. They need your help, more than ever right now. Make it a point, if you can move some of that online shopping that you might do, to shopping with some online black owned businesses. You don't have to go in the store, right? You can buy online. This is the time when they need it the most.
And to that end, Chris, is there anyone in Sacramento, since you run the Sac Black Business
Yeah.
page, that we should be paying attention to during the holiday season? Is there anybody catering Thanksgiving dinners?
Well, there's a lot of folks catering Thanksgiving dinners, during the holidays. One that comes to mind is Cora Lorraine's soul food spot up there on Del Paso Boulevard here in the city of Sacramento. So check out Cora Lorraine's for sure. But this Friday is Shop Black Friday, at the African Marketplace on 2251 Florin Road, Florin Square, as we call it here in Sacktown. Make sure you show up. There is probably going to be about 40, 50 black vendors out there. The building that houses the event is black owned itself. About 20, 30, maybe even 40 black owned businesses live in the building itself also, as well as a number of black owned nonprofits. So come out this Friday, starting this Friday, and there's a second day, Saturday also, for the Shop Black Friday weekend. Friday starting at 10 a.m., I believe, 10 to 6. Saturday starting at noon to 6, noon to 7. There's always food, there's always music, there's always community. I mean, you won't go wrong. You can't go wrong coming out this Friday to the Shop Black Friday extravaganza. I will definitely be out there. I mean, it's just it's a real fun event. Obviously, mask up. Let's keep it safe. Let's keep it healthy, right? But come out, show some love to your black owned businesses. Again, they've been really hurting over the past several months, especially our black vendors out there who really don't have the events, the big events anymore that they normally vend at. California shut down events with more than 100 people. So a lot of vendors have not had any business over the past several months. So please come out this Friday, 2251 Florence Road, Florence Square, Shop Black Friday, starting at 10 a.m.
All right, fam, we got a call, so
Oh
hold on a
yeah,
second.
let's get it. We love when people call.
Yep, 831. You're on the air on the ADOCA Media channel.
Hello, how are you? This is CA.
What's up, CA?
Question.
How you
What's
doing?
up?
Hi, everything's good. Welcome. The question, is there a way that we use the power of that email resource that you guys have for the Bay Area Connects and send some of that information in like an email blast for, let's say, those people who claim ADOS, who are mechanics and what have you? Is there any way we could get it like that? Maybe possibly.
Hell yeah, absolutely, absolutely, great idea. And for the folks who aren't aware, that's ADOSCA Media Group at gmail.com. If the family can put that email up, that would be awesome. ADOSCA Media Group at gmail.com. And yes, from my perspective, CA, yes, absolutely, and that's a really good idea.
Because I think sometimes when we have these scenarios, like I do events, but like when we have these scenarios, sometimes it's like I always try to think from the standpoint of the end user, as opposed to, let's say, myself in my anecdotal situation. But like right now, I'm looking for a plumber to do some bathroom stuff. I'm searching through Craigslist and everything. Can't find nobody black. I'm looking
Oh
for
man,
somebody. I just bought a convertible Mustang. I got to take it to the Chinese brother because there ain't nobody black around and
oh,
no black shots. So it might be good for us to make that. This is just a suggestion to make
absolutely.
that attractive uh, as people join. Things get larger and what have you. Just a suggestion.
Absolutely, great suggestion, and you should know, and the family here should know also. Part of what we do out of Sacramento is we run something called Sac Black Biz, which is Sacramento County's largest black-owned business directory, and we make referrals to black-owned businesses in Sacramento County every single day. We don't reach out to the Bay Area yet, but I am aware of very similar efforts to organize information about black-owned businesses in the Bay Area. So if there's anything specific that you're looking for, feel free to use that email also. But you are absolutely right. This is definitely something that I think we could probably incorporate into what we do because people are looking for it, right? People want it, and if we can be a resource to each other and help black people spend money with black people, there's nothing wrong with that. So I think that's a great idea.
Absolutely. And the other second question is, are you guys familiar? Because I'm from Oakland. I'm from the town. Are you guys familiar with our Black Joy Parade?
No.
I am. The ADOS Bay Area group they had a spot in the Black Joy Parade, I think last year. If it wasn't early, it was last year. I think it happens like in the late like summer, early fall, if I'm not mistaken. I'm vaguely familiar with it, and I'm only familiar with it.
I didn't see him. That's why I was asking.
Yeah, it was. I know if you check out the ADOS Bay Area Facebook page, I know they have some pictures from it. I want to say it was last year. I don't think they did it this year. And some of the Bay Area
So
families,
they've had everyone. They've had a parade for the past 3 years running.
right?
So I go to them each year, and I donate to them. So that's why I was like, I didn't see it, but maybe I missed it. That's why I was just asking, just to make sure people know that ADOS is out there, and that's something that they need to look into. So again, just a question, suggestion. Thank you for your time.
No, thank you, brother, and also, brother, make sure you connect with the ADOS Bay Area family too. It's ADOS Bay Area at gmail.com. You can sign up for their email list. You can get connected to what they're doing on the ground. They're doing some amazing work, some amazing political work on the ground. And thank you for that call, brother. Appreciate it. We love it when the family calls up, especially when the family has great ideas like that. And definitely connect with the ADOS Bay Area family.
Hey, CA, before you go, so what do you think about Thanksgiving? What you doing for Thanksgiving, man? Well, I guess he's chilling. He's off the phone. All right.
We lost them. Okay, so Chris, we're coming up on time here. Was there anything else that you wanted to say about Black Friday business before
No,
we
that was
move
it.
on?
Shop Black Friday, and or just maybe one or two more honorable mentions. I do want to just give an honorable mention to two amazing local organizations that have dedicated themselves to supporting Black-owned businesses through the pandemic. That's Maximum Reach for Economic Equity. Full disclosure, I'm a board member with Maximum Reach for Economic Equity, and we exist to support Sacramento's Black-owned businesses. I want to give a big shout out to the team there: Angie Wiggins, Martha Wiggins, Mama Wiggins, everyone who has really put their butt on the line and really sacrificed for Black-owned businesses over the past several months. I mean, these people have been working tirelessly to make sure that Black-owned businesses stay alive, stay afloat during this pandemic, during some of the most challenging times in the lives of Black-owned businesses. So shout out to Maximum Reach for economic equity. For Maximum Reach for Economic Equity, that's maxreach4.net if you're looking for it. And then also BSBA, Black Small Business Association of California. Full disclosure, I'm also a board member there. Also, I want to give them a big shout out. We held a really awesome town hall yesterday with some city and county officials talking about what the economic outlook is for Black-owned businesses going into 2021 and how we can best protect ourselves for through the pandemic. I'm a Black business owner myself. Sac Black Biz is itself a business, and so I do want to give a shout out to BSBA, Black Small Business Association of California. Shout out to Selena, Laureen, everybody over there who have been doing amazing work advocating on behalf of Black-owned businesses during the pandemic.
Okay, and just have a little bit of information we'd like to share really quickly about people interested in how to find more information about local Black businesses here in Sacramento. One moment.
Hey, so let's say you want to find a Black-owned business here in Sacramento County. Let's say you want to buy and shop Black using a Black-owned business here in Sacramento County. I'm going to show you a quick and easy way to do that using Sac Black Biz. So I got my phone open. I'm going to open Facebook. I'm going to open the group called Sac Black Biz Community. open the group called SAC Black Biz Community. That's what it looks like on the homepage. Then I'm going to scroll down, and there's a list of topics right on the front page right here. The first topic is Black-owned businesses in Sacramento. The topic list actually expands, so I'm going to hit see more. You see a fuller list of the topics. It actually expands a little bit more, right? So let's say I want to find a Black-owned fashion company or Black-owned jewelry maker or a Black-owned fashion accessories company. So I'm going to hit the tag fashion, clothing, jewelry, and or accessories. And voila, you've got a listing of fashion or businesses that sell fashion here in Sacramento County. So let's say I want to find let's say I want to find.
So voila, Chris. So that was a while ago. How has your business grown since that was first made?
That was pre-COVID-19. As you can see, I put on the COVID-20. That's pre-COVID-19, Chris, without the beard and the extra cheeks.
Yeah, looking fresh. But good deal.
Yeah, nice little commercial ad, bro.
Yeah, man. Thank
like
you.
that.
And yeah. So businesses going well for us because we were in the right place at the right time. We were dedicated to serving and providing information to Sacramento's Black population who want to do business with Sacramento's Black businesses from day one. And so once the pandemic hit, once the uprisings hit, earlier this year, people wanted to do more business with Black-owned businesses, and so we were in a position to serve that niche and serve that need, and we were actually able to get a couple of contracts with the city of Sacramento to actually help do that. And so we've been doing it well ever since, and we will continue, and we will be here for Black businesses until forever. So thank you for that. Thank you for that. That was I wasn't expecting that.
Surprise.
Yeah.
So all this talk about shopping and Black-owned businesses. Our next topic is the second stimulus check. What do we know about that? Should we even hold our breath for a stimulus stocking stuffer this year?
I wouldn't hold our breath, but I would say it should be coming. So I wouldn't hold your breath because you would have to hold your breath for a couple of weeks to a month or two. But it is definitely, I want to say the odds are that something is coming in the way of stimulus checks. Biden himself, the president-elect, has committed himself to additional fiscal national stimulus. The person that he's bringing in to or likely to bring in to head the Department of the Treasury, which is former federal governor of Federal Reserve chairwoman Janet Yellen, has been someone who has been in favor of putting money in people's hands and pockets. So plus the fact that we haven't had one in almost a year, right? And we definitely and desperately need it. I think we can definitely expect it. Now that's after Biden takes office, but there's a probability that we see something smaller in what they call the lame duck session of Congress, which is happening right now. So, is it coming? I think yes. Odds are yes. When it's coming, hopefully sooner rather than later. But I think within the next couple of months, we'll at least have something on the way.
Okay. And I've been seeing some reports that a lot of municipalities are scrambling to spend their first round of COVID funding since they're coming up on the deadline, December 31st, to have that money spent. do we know of any resources where they're kind of just giving the money away because they have to give the money away that we could share? Or
Here, so here in here in the city county of Sacramento, you should check out Sacramento COVID Relief.org. It's a big listing of all of the COVID-19 related resources that are coming out of the city. So that's Sacramento COVID Relief.org. Statewide, I would check out Go Biz. So if you just Google Go Biz California, it's the governor's office of business and economic development, something. Um, Check out Go Biz to look at what kind of resources California is putting out, particularly around businesses. And then there are definitely some other government based websites that you should also check out. As well, the California Department of Public Health, being one of them. But you're right, Kim. The deadline is December 31st. Now there's a good chance though, and you brought up this stimulus just now. It's a good chance that there's an extension on the use of funds through December 31st in new stimulus legislation. So there's a really good chance that there's going to be more funds coming, not just in stimulus check funds, but like funds to like local areas, but also that the deadlines to spend the funds will also be extended. So look out for that too.
okay, so they could it possibly extend it past December 31st rather than having to give the money back to the feds. All right. And then our final topic here, I know I do not want this in my stocking, but looks like they're getting pretty close to releasing a COVID-19 vaccination. Um, what are our thoughts on that? I just wanted to share my screen here because I've been seeing a couple of articles related to this. Let's see. Qantas airline, whoops, if that can go, is saying that, in order to fly on their international flights, you're going to have to show proof that you have taken the COVID vaccination. So they're kind of forcing you to get vaccinated in order to use their services. And it looks like that's going to be a trend with this because we've also got Ticketmaster exploring whether to require fans to verify COVID-19 vaccination or at least a negative test prior to attending events. So it looks like that's kind of looking like the trend, and where you're going to have to take this test whether you want to or not, or you're not going to be able to participate in society.
Yeah, a whole new world, and there's definitely a difference between the COVID test and then the vaccine. I actually had my second COVID test last week, negative or not detected is what they call negative, but so there's a difference. So obviously the testing is one thing, and I think we've gotten kind of used to gotten kind of comfortable with the testing. Many of us, not all of us for sure, but many of us, and then. But the vaccine is a whole nother thing, right? And there are now 3 vaccine candidates that are doing that are likely to be available at least in limited use, primarily for healthcare workers, to start, and then for the general population sometime in early 2021. So there probably will not. So like for use by the general public, there probably won't be a general use vaccine, at least from what we're hearing now, until sometime in early 2021. The way that they're talking about rolling this out is they're going to give it to the healthcare workers first, and then to some of the other specialized populations first, and then go out into the general public. So we'll see. But I do think you're right. This is definitely going to be a trend where people and companies are going to be requiring it to to get into whether it's flights, whether it's restaurants, whether it's concerts.
I
I
think it's going to be whether you're going to be able to get employment at some point. These
possibly,
companies can mandate that you get vaccinated.
possibly, and so ADOS California. If you remember, we spent the majority of the first 3-4 months of our work here, advocacy wise and politically wise, in the state, around COVID, right? And one of the things that we were clear about in our recommendations to Congress and to state state lawmakers is that, one, we don't want to be no guinea pigs. We don't want to be subject to no medical testing and all of that stuff, right? We want to be protected from that. But also, it sounds like we're gonna have to add to some of the advocacy protections for us, from any undue fallout around this vaccine, right? Whether that's this some type of discrimination, because you don't get it, or because you're not, you're not sure about it. We're gonna have to really think about this and talk about this going forward as a community, here in California over the next several months. So we got a lot to talk about.
Yeah, real quick, Mr. Ados Research. Next time we get on the community call, gotta call in, because we definitely want to hear your perspective, especially since you have some expertise or experience in the medical field. So definitely next time we have this call, please call in.
Hell yeah.
All right, and I think that's just about time for us, unless you gentlemen have any final thoughts that you wanted to share with the audience.
Well, no, I was just saying we definitely appreciate everybody's input, comments, calls. Thank you for the calls we had today. We always love when people call in. This is a community call in, so this is your time to voice what's on your mind, and let us know if there are topics that you want to hear us talk about. Let us know. You can email adoscamediagroup@gmail.com. You can leave a comment in the chat. You can leave a comment on Facebook. You can leave a comment on Instagram, and also on Twitter, also on TikTok as well, right? Make sure you are also liking, following, and sharing all of this. This is really a privilege and a pleasure from my perspective to be able to sit with our ADOS community on a weekly basis, and much appreciation to everyone that's joined. Also appreciation to the mod. Shout out CO, ADOS SoCal. Shout out Jordan. What's going on, friend? Appreciate you. And also my co-hosts, my amazing co-hosts here, Kim and Umoya, who are the all-stars of ADOS CA Media. It's my pleasure.
Salute.
Salute. Happy Thanksgiving, everyone. Stay safe and stay sane.
Yes.
Gobble, gobble.